Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM23 Newton Heath. This is episode 61. The improbable has happened already. From 6 teams with a chance, we emerged as the top team and made the final promotion playoff spot. And it was highly improbable, especially just a handful of games before the end of the season, when we were just climbing our way up that ladder and suddenly found ourselves in touching distance in the almost driver's seat. So I guess you could say the passenger seat. We definitely weren't backseat drivers in that final bid, but we were the ones who came out as the winners and got there. But now we face the near impossible situation of surviving the promotion playoffs. 4 teams is all there are, and we begin with a semifinal. The semifinal is 2 legs. We're at home for the first leg, and it's Bolton Wanderers, a massive club compared to the size of our own, outside of the growing financial portion of what it is we bring. But in terms of reputation, history, quality of player, there's a huge gulf between us, a gulf that's gotten larger. We had 10 days, I think it was, from the last game of the regular season till this, and in those 10 days, 3 injuries to key players. One of those is suited up for today, has passed his fitness, is eligible. 2 of them will miss both legs. Those 2 key players absolutely hurt our chances, as we are down Hegyi, out, concussion, 3-week protocol on that one. So Harry Evans, who's been injured and just come back himself, so he hasn't even been on the bench. He did play some matches for us earlier in the season. I'd say about 4 of them over the course of the season, but he hasn't played in months, partially due to the injury and partially due to just selection. And so there's that. We're definitely down between the sticks. But then also in front of him, support-wise, and he doesn't start every game, but Marcus Muir, who's definitely one of our key 3 center backs, is out. Likewise, I've gone ahead and made a couple other changes with Humphreys in over Elliot Jenks as better form of late. Humphreys last 5, 7.4 rating. And then also Mathurin getting the start today over Hutchinson. Hutchinson still struggling to fit into the side since coming in January. Has been okay in his performances, but largely it's the tactical familiarity that's lacking for him that I think is taking a player who might be a little bit better than Mathurin and has left him struggling to find his place in the team. Of late, Mathurin has played well, so he's going to get that start. Massive crowd for the club's biggest match. I mean, in terms of climbing the ladder, higher reputation league each year. So yes, the biggest match in the history of the club to this point. And not liking our chances, but I've been saying that all season long. And we keep defying expectations. Of course, our January move for Schreiber has been definitely the move of the season. Unfortunately, he's only on loan, so we are going to lose him a couple matches time, depending on what happens over the next couple of matches, as we go super close on that one. Not sure who got their head to that one. It could have been Schreiber, for all I know, or Taylor, but that one was cleared away at close range from the keeper. Andoweni gets on the overlap. Nice ball in there, but great tackle. Good interception by Shipley. He's going to step up, take it himself. Probably the best thing you can do under those circumstances, and that is always a rarity to see those end up in the back of the net, those fullbacks stepping up and taking those long-range shots. And we have already played half an hour. At least we're hanging in this and looking like the team that's ever so slightly more likely to score. But at this point, it's looking like this could peter out into a 0-0 draw for the first leg. Great ball inside. That one's blocked, though. I really thought that was coming through that traffic, and somehow it does not make it through. Mathurin not getting the job done today. In fact, all my attacking guys outside of Indoweni are struggling on this one. 5 shots to their 1 is definitely a good start, but only 0.35 on the XG. It's going to require more if we're going to get a goal in this match. The team talk didn't do much. That can often happen when it's 0-0, but the secondary positional talk got them fired up a bit. So we'll see if that can help us gain any more momentum, or at least make us play it equally as well as we did in the first half. Nice ball over the top for Mathieu. He's going to lay it off over Shipley. He finds Bull. Finds Schreiber. Wow. Really threaded that pass to get that in there, but his shot was blocked immediately. And we've now played 55 minutes, adding one more shot. Again, another not on target, but most of those are not because they're missing the direction of the frame of the goal. It's because they keep getting blocked. Mathurin intercepts Humphreys into Wenny. He's going to carry that into space. Beats his man. Header for Schreiber. Free header off target. That should have given us the lead. They've finally picked up just their second shot of this match. Does over the top for Taylor, chips the keeper, beats the keeper on target, and the defender, center back, not quite goal line, but pretty damn close to a goal line clearance. And of course, without a keeper there to stop it from crossing the goal line, you can absolutely chalk that up as a goal line clearance. We can't get that one away. He's going to get a shot. It's blocked. Mathurin then heads it away, but they are going to recycle it and try again. Rogers, that's deflected, and that's out for a corner kick. We've now played 80 minutes. Taylor is having a terrible day. I do not have Lapala. I have Lapala Bai on. Well, I guess we're going to have to bring Lapala Bai on. I mean, it cannot get any worse for Taylor. I don't think he's touched the ball. Now Bull again resets. Mathurin over the top for Lapala Bai, and he scores! Flags up. I thought it looked good. No replay. I thought he made a run. I thought there was one center back that was playing him on, and he just ran off that back shoulder of that center back. It looked like it was actually pretty comfortable. I thought he was on by a good yard, but flag goes up, and that's that. And that's the one that looked like he might have made a run a bit early. It was certainly tight. Lapala Bai draws the big foul there from Johnston, but it's just a yellow card, and we've got 30 seconds left to play. And yeah, it's gonna be 0-0. Wow. Oh, big giveaway there. Big foul. Noah's gonna pick up the yellow on that one for sure. Does not. Wow. Common foul it is. Time's already up, so this is probably the last kick of the game, and it is. Whew. Man, they almost stole the party there in that last second, but that match was all us. And if you add the XG for the would-be, the goal, man, we would have been approaching about 1.7 with one goal having scored. Baggett had another good day. Terry had a good day, so at least we were solid in front of goal. We obviously had that scary moment in the last kick of the game, but Dale Taylor did absolutely nothing. Schreiber also had a really weak day. We were good on the wings. That was the space they gave us, and we made use of it, but they kept blocking. Once we did get the ball inside, they kept blocking. So Bolton Wanderers defended well in a game that we otherwise would have dominated. Yeah, really disappointed in that goal that was ruled offside, and not even getting a proper replay of it to see if my assumptions were correct or incorrect. They easily could have been incorrect. While we didn't get the win, we were clearly the better side in the first matchup, so the same 11 take the field today, and Humphreys immediately gets an aggressive tackle coming in on him that if that's not done right, that's a red card. But it was done right, and everybody's okay. We've now played 10 minutes already. Can Taylor do more today? Can Schreiber do more to impact the game today? So far, we are the first ones to get a shot, but it's one of those 0 XG situations, either super, super long range or one of those headers going away. And long distance in terms of headers type scenario. Baggett, no. Ball up to Indoweni. Finds Schreiber. Got 4 defenders on him. beats the first two. The third one comes and helps out. We've picked up another injury to Powell, our backup left back. And woof, that one hits the top end of the crossbar. That was close. That's the closest they've been. Mathurin finds Indoweni. Indoweni, though, fouled. Because we did get a shot out of that. I figured that was advantage used. Mathurin, good slide tackle, but to nowhere. Scheiber heads it away, but they get another chance at it. Evans, ball right about his shoulder. He gets a hand to it, palms it up and over, out for the corner, and that one's cleared away. Baggett has picked up a yellow, off to a bad start. He's a bit upset about the call, it looks like. It's halftime. You trust Baggett. Muir is available on the bench, so we could bring him in if we need it. We'll see how things are going. Really poor ratings today. Much more balanced game. Neither team amounting to much in the attack so far. We get second half underway without possession here. Can we get the ball back and get things started? That one, no flag raised, but looked like he had gone pretty early unless there was center back playing him on there. Players still struggling to impact the game today, and now we've already exceeded the hour mark. Mathurin is struggling. I think we have an obvious chance to bring on Hutchinson. Dale Taylor is again struggling, but we're not going to change him. Well, you know what? Let's change him out. I brought Shaq Ford on to the bench this time. We'll bring both guys on. Confirm. Now we have to have a winner, and it's 0-0, so we are facing the prospect of extra time. We are facing the prospect of penalties. And that was terribly defended. Absolutely atrocious defending from Perina. This guy's offside by a mile, but he's going to get to the point where Perina is here. And that's the atrocious defending. So not only does Perina not even bother to defend the winger in the slightest. I mean, he's off him by many, many yards. But he is literally the one who is breaking up the offside trap as well and plays him on there. And we now trail 1-0 with 15 minutes to go in our season. First change, of course, is to go attacking. And Ford offside. Oof, bad giveaway there. It's going to lead to another chance and another goal. And that's it, folks. Our season is going to be wrapping up here shortly. Defensive mistakes taking us out here late on. Not marking well enough on Barnes. That he needed to be pressed a lot closer than he was, especially with the numbers we had there. And we got a couple guys on yellows, but we got 5 minutes left in our season. We're not giving up yet. Baggett having a terrible day. Not having a terrible day. We'll bring on Muir. Barnes chips. Muir saves. Big save there from Muir off the line, but it's not going to make much difference. It just stops it from being 3. Pushing those two up for the last few minutes to try to get something, and it's still all them anyway. The difference in class, the gulf between our teams really shows up in this second match, as I figured it did. To have any chance, we needed to have a lead after that first leg. We were the better team in that first leg, but we just got nowhere with it. Really bad counterattack there. Ball played behind the man, and then the progressive second ball was also not played ahead either, and both players had to check their runs, and it killed any momentum we had built up there. Final seconds, offside. Terry, Scheiber, Bull, back to the keeper. Bull didn't win that one. That was the defender. That does it. Season done, folks. That's okay. Just to even be in this position was a real miracle for this team. We were picked to finish, next to last in the league. Now, I knew that wasn't going to be where we were, but I did. My honest assessment was we were mid-table, and we were mid-table. And then in January, we got better and worse. But that better portion seemingly outweighed because we went on a run with Schreiber that really carried us through into another level the remainder of the season. Today, though, and some of these teams were just too good for this squad, and today really showed. The attack just did nothing. Stalled out completely. We had 4 shots the entire match. We had a .08 XG. The result was harsh because they only had 8 attempts. Them getting those 2 goals, they should have had 1, definitely not 2. Clearly, we were on 2 different levels. Budget for next year is, as always, huge. It's Coventry and Bolton that are going to be playing, so Coventry with the upset over Lincoln, after Lincoln actually won the first leg. But it was Coventry with a 2-0 upset on the road to overcome their 1-goal deficit after the first leg. So road team winning both of those matches is certainly a bit of a surprise. Quick look at the team stats as we've hit the end of the season. Average possession, we were 5th best. 10th in headers won. 1st in percentage by quite a bit though. 9% better than anybody else. Confirmation that we did have the most yellows and equal on most reds. 6th best offense on the season with 58 goals, and considering we were mid-table at the end of January, that was quite the progression. I mean, we moved up a good plus 10 to 15 from where we were. Rate-wise, we went up a lot. Finishing, though, is actually quite bad. We were last in the league on the expected goals versus what we actually did. So we underperformed massively on the offensive side. So maybe Dale Taylor was not the answer, as he really only did so much this season, or at least it was the wings behind him that were unable to score themselves. Expected goals for, we were 2nd in the league. So actually our offense really still running on most cylinders. It just wasn't running on that final cylinder, that final push that you needed to get the ball on the back of the net. That was a big surprise. Non-penalty expected goals for, we were leading the league by quite a bit. So that's the other thing that stands out. Our opponents might be getting away with some occasional fouls in the box, as we lack that reputation. 13th in penalties taken with 6, and actually only scored 3 of them this year. Cross completion, 8% better than anybody else. Crosses completed, 50 higher than everybody else. Goals from corners, tied for 5th in the league with 5. Direct free kicks, not a 1. Indirect, just 2. Pass completion ratio is 86%. By the way, corner kicks, you can micromanage like crazy in FM to get more out of your set pieces. And that's really the only way to do it properly. I don't bother the time. If we played every match, if we were that type of save, I would bother. But the time consumption to figure that out, to sort that out, to deal with that headache, just not worth it. For this save, anyway. 4th in pass completion. 4th in passes completed. 2nd in chances created. There's that XG portion. Shots for was 2nd. Shots on target was 2nd. Ouch. Now it's starting to see why it was a disappointing return. Shots on target ratio was 4th and really tied for 2nd. Conversion rate, just 5th. 15th, that is. And that's where we ran into some issues. Just couldn't quite get the ball into the back of the net. 3rd on shots per game. 8th on fouls against. Actually surprised that we got that high up. 15th on dribbles made. 6th on possession lost. And that's the good direction to be in, as we lost it less than most other teams. High intensity sprints came right in about the same place as dribbles, so that sort of makes sense. But it's our passing in the final third that is what put us at the top. Definitely not the dribbling. On the defensive side of the ball, mid-table, 47 goals allowed. That's 11th. Expected goals against was 21st, 44. So I think we were right about what we should have given up, right? We allowed 4 from corner kicks, 4 from direct free kicks, equal on worst in the league. Unlucky there. Just 1 on indirect free kicks, though. Our 19 shutouts was tied for 9th in the league. We were second in fouls made, so that was on the high end this year, actually. Usually we're much lower. Tackles won, just 21st. That's the whole reason why I don't do it. I don't do it because we get those yellow cards or red cards at a very, very high frequency. So I try to keep us on our feet a bit more and be effective in the tackles we make, which we are 4th best in the league for tackle win ratios. Blocks, 17th. Possession won, 19th. Our defense just did not win the ball back the same we have in past years. Was not as effective, fullbacks especially. Clearances, 20th. Interceptions, a little bit better, 13th. But I'm used to being right at the top of the league for that. Penalties conceded, 21st, tied, 10 of them. Birmingham City, the only one that was worse. Shots against, just 401. We were 3rd best in shots against, but we gave up a lot of penalties. How many of those were scored? Does it show here? No. Shots on target against, second in the league. So we're good at preventing the shot, not good at stopping penalties from getting called against us, and not terribly good at earning them either, even though we were dangerous ball into the box. 2nd most in the league, and we still couldn't get penalties at any sort of high rate. Passes attempt against, just 9th. We keep the ball pretty well. Opposition passes per defensive action, 10th place. We keep it down at 4.38, just above the halfway point in the league. Passes where it counts though, 4th best. Final third passes against. Headers lost per game. We are the best in the league by some margin, giving up 8 fewer headers, just 27. We're the next closest, Wimbledon at 35. This is a good stat. We're 1st in the league, not 24th. Net transfer spend, we were top of the league, but barely, actually. Salford City, Lincoln, just behind us. Salary, absolutely competitive. It's just getting the right players. I mean, we keep having to overspend to get players at all because of the reputation side of things. We were 5th in the league in salary, but that is also pretty dang close to what our position ended up being at the end of the year, and I would expect it would grow a bit next season. On the player side of things, we're going to go pretty quickly on this one. Most yellow cards, 2nd, 3rd, and 9th. Really, the top 3 spots outside of Rory Anderson, who claims the actual top spot. Only a single player in the league had more than 1 red card, but we had plenty of those individual ones. Nowhere near the top of the standings in man of the match. Distance covered, Perry Nah and Ndewene at the top end of the league. Baggett and Schreiber at the top end of the average ratings. Ndewene up there as well. We definitely have some of the pieces we need to be effective in future seasons. Headers won, Muir and Baggett. Terry in possession won. Possession lost, Ndewene giving the ball away a lot though. 2 players with 20 goals, Dale Taylor with 18, and apparently should have had a whole lot more than what he did. Expected goals, it was only 16 for him, so the absence is definitely on some of the other guys. Ndewene at 11 and 11 and a third with his expected to be 9. The other way around. He scored 9 with an expected of 11 and a third. So there's a couple of your absent goals. I'm guessing some of the other wingers, or at least attacking mid players, are the reason that we are so short in that department, as it looks like Dale Taylor actually exceeded his expected by a couple. Shaq Ford maybe could have been part of the problem as well. Evan Ferguson led the league in overperformance for XG. Dale Taylor makes the list right at the bottom. Here's the underperformance side. Lapalo Bai had a terrible season. 3 goals below what he should have had, which he only scored 2. Should have had 5. That's a big drop off. And Ndewene also at that 2 1/3 makes the list, and Shaq Ford makes that list 2 1/4 below what he should have had. Shots on target percentage. Dale Taylor was 3rd in the league. Frank Terry, Baggett, our center backs, also getting the ball on target fairly frequently. Shots per 90, Dale Taylor was 8th. Ndewene's downside obviously was giving the ball away, but setting teammates up was definitely a strength of his, as he led the league with 14 assists. and per 90. And key passes. Key passes per 90 was his as well. Open play key passes, he was second. Perinois was actually fourth. Joseph Bull was 11th in that area. Chances created, number 1 in the league, plus 15 over anybody else. Mathurin doing pretty well, getting a lot of those appearances on that left wing. 32 in all, 7 of those off the bench. James Moore didn't do much for us this season, but one thing he did do well was complete passes. Inouye, our only player who completed a lot of dribbles, progressive dribbles, but he also got offside a lot, as did Dale Taylor. Inouye drew a ton of fouls, 3rd most in the league. That certainly helped things out. Looks like Mathurin was pretty unlucky. His expected, Inouye, for comparison, expected assist 13.6, he gets 14. Mathurin, 8.16, only ends up getting 4. Key headers, Marcus Muir, 11th in the league. Chances created per 90, Inouye and Mathurin both in the top 5. Goal mistakes per 90, Frankie Terry, bit too much in 7th in that one. Saves held per 90, we are nowhere near that list. Henke not showing up. Saves tipped per 90, 6th. Saves parried, not on that list. Expected goals prevented, no one's up there. Clean sheets, Henke 14th. Offsides, Taylor and Inouye are up there. Shots blocked. Defending per 90, we're not on that list at all. Progressive passes, Perinois all the way up in 4th. Frankie Terry in 16th. Pretty good ball playing center back. Progressive passes per 90, Josh Powell actually pretty high on that list. James Moore, Perinois showing up on it as well. Lapalo Bai had a really poor season offensively, but he did help win the ball back, so he was good in the press. Headers 1 ratio, part of the reason why we were so good in this area is that we've got 2 guys right at the top of the league, Muir and Baggett, and Frankie Terry actually even makes the list down in 17th. But Inouye, with 112 fouls, crushes the competition to win something you don't want to win. But part of the reason for that is the amount of pressures that he was placing and the tackles that kind of come with it. Checking those goalkeeping stats, because I'm starting to get a little bit worried about Henke. Sure, we've had a fair number of shutouts, but I'm thinking he really didn't do much. 42 goals in 44 appearances, just under a goal per match, which certainly isn't a bad record or anything. But what about the other stats? Where does he kind of stand compared to others? Saves held, not good. Saves parried, not good. Conceded, expected goals conceded per night, not even on the list. But that also means he's outside of the worst 20. Expected goals prevented, obviously one of those more important ones, but also does not show up on the list. So expected goals prevented, he didn't even get to 2 in the entire season. Doesn't make the top 20 in save percentage. Expected save percentage was 83% though. So Henke was not great. The only thing he's done well is save some penalties. He saved 3 of them out of 10. Well, folks, here's where things stand. We are in League One. You know it's only a matter of time that we acquire the players as that reputation grows and gets better, and we've already seen ourselves climb from a mid-table team as the season went on to a comfortable mid-table team to making the promotion playoffs. Not being good enough yet, but you figure, a few more pieces and suddenly this team will be. It's not that far off. We're well short, but tactically we always carry well, so we just need to eliminate a few of those weak points in our lineup. A couple good defensive mids, a better fullback, and I think this team is suddenly one of the best defensive and one of the best offensive, and you could already see that the stats show, we were probably second or third best offense. We just couldn't quite get the ball into the back of the net by the end of the season anyway, and we were getting the ball into the back of the net so much better at the end of the season. There's just those few teams that were still a little too good, but I think we could easily be a promotion playoff team next season, and we could possibly be an automatic promotion. Maybe not a league winner, but, getting second place like Reading this year where you're just ahead of the promotion playoff teams. I think that's entirely possible for this team come next season. And, of course, with the finances, you just keep building towards that. You get better staff, you get better players, It happens. The reputation grows. It happens. And I find them easier and easier and easier as time goes on. But then you push up to another level and you're facing that same scenario. But it's quite clear to me now that this is a team that could be winning Champions Leagues in a matter of time. The stadium experiment has proven quite possible. The reputation is the obstacle, nothing much else. It does take me substantial amounts of time, though, to sift through and find players, to scout, and find a player that will sign with us. That makes us better. You can find tons and tons of players at a same level as what we have. But finding better players, thanks to the reputation portion, is harder. In most teams, most leagues, most playthroughs, you have the opposite problem. You could find 1,000 players better in a split second, but you can't afford most of them. Here, it's just finding them. Finding them is the trick. Getting them willing to sign for us. But the moment you have it, then the next player that comes along is more willing to sign because better and better players are coming to you. It's finding the needle in the haystack over and over and over again, as opposed to affording any needle in the haystack for most other teams. Different type of playthrough, certainly interesting experiment, but I can tell you with the utmost confidence that a full stadium, that's enough. That is enough to take absolute nothing and turn it into the best team. Now, of course, Man City have done the same sort of thing to an extent. They took a almost no reputation Manchester City. They had some reputation. I mean, they were a Premier League side after all, but they were very much a yo-yo team just above relegation zone. They were not an elite side in any stretch of the imagination. They haven't done the full stadium thing, but they took the similar concept. The finances have shown exactly what you can do with money. So money, once again, proves to be a difference maker. Real life, Wrexham, obviously, with a little bit of money, have overcome. They've had a lot to overcome. I mean, let's be real for just a split second here. 23 teams in those league despise the money that Wrexham have because they don't. It's not, in their case, right? Wrexham's playing by all the rules, very clearly playing by the rules. They have support. They are doing something wonderful for their city. But for the have-nots, everybody's angry. Everybody's angry. Now, I know and understand that. I coach in a league. My kids are the have-nots. And we get pretty angry at the haves. Technically, they play by the rules, but they also don't. There's certain rules in place for our district that every school should have the same resources, identical resources, and we do not have the same resources at all, even remotely close, and that comes from district money. There's a difference in the haves and have-nots in that we've got kids that are in pay leagues year-round, travel leagues year-round, and have experience that my kids have never had. I've got a lot of kids that come through my program that have never touched a ball and then are expected to play at the same level of these other kids that play 24/7 year-round with excellent equipment, great coaching staff, and get to travel, play against really good competition. And then we've got to step up and try to match that. And at times we do great, and at times it's ugly. We face challenges, and I know these challenges, and I know what it's like to hate or despise or be over it, that what the haves are like. And in the case of Wrexham, there's 23 teams that despise them for having, and every single team comes in with a chip on their shoulder of that's the team you want to take down. That's also because it's semi-pro. These are professionals that are coming in, so they are going to come in and try to show off. They realize that the eyes are on that team. They realize that the only time that they're going to get seen all season long by anybody who matters and could make something happen to help their career is in that match. They're going to come out and have their best game. So 46 times Wrexham faces that obstacle. Notts County took advantage of that and almost snuck in there and stole that championship. There's a lot of pressure to have those eyes on you, that expectation for all 46 matches. And Wrexham stepped up and played ridiculously well with players that absolutely should have easily won that league. It took a record, shattering record points haul for them to do so, but they did so, and that's the whole point. And we are that. We are going to do that. No, we are not Wrexham. I'm not Ryan Reynolds. I'm not Rob McElhenney. It's just a simple scenario of we are a team of halves. We're a team rich with resources, and it's so obvious that that is more than enough to see a team succeed. So we'll get out of League One in a year, 2 years. We'll get out of the Championship in a couple of years or a few years. We'll get into that Premier League, and we will be in a Champions League spot within 2 to 3 to 4 seasons, whatever it takes. But we'll get there, without a doubt. That's a lot of seasons to get through that process. And I think many of you in the audience, or at least many of those who were in the audience, have come to realize that too, because I've seen the audience drop off. I think everybody understands that it's written in stone. It is foretold that we will get there, that we will achieve that. It's just a matter of time. There's another playthrough. There's another challenge that I've been doing for the last few years that I love and adore and have not had a chance to succeed with yet. I'm ready to give it a go, especially with the audience numbers being where they're at here for this Newton Heath save. Last thing about this Newton Heath save before we're going to be transitioning to a Youth Factory save. It's time for that. I'm ready for that. So this is going to be the final episode here. But one last thing about Newton Heath and Manchester United, who this started as, it's a protest club regarding Manchester United. So one final word on Manchester United and the proposed sale that just had its third round of bidding mere days ago, maybe a week ago now, whatever the case may be, but we haven't heard anything regarding it as of yet. Two main bidders remain. Two main outcomes remain. There's only one that I would accept. Well, okay, there's three outcomes. We're looking at three scenarios, aren't we? Brailsford, the namesake that we used for this one, and I think looks like an excellent option if that one comes through. It's going to make a lot of people happy. That's the direction to go. I think that's the easy pick for me. The other two options, they don't sell, or they go to they become a state-owned club. And if you haven't figured it out for me by now, the Manchester Cities, the PSGs, the absurd recklessness, breaking the rules of Barcelona's, the Chelseas, that bend the rules to their will, but go against the spirit of the rules, the spirit of the law. I hate those teams. Hate them with a passion. They're everything that is wrong in sports. Not just this sport, but in all sports. People that cheat to get ahead. I love to see a team win. I love to see a team succeed. I love to see Brighton climb the ladder after I read a book 12 years ago and fell in love with this small League Two side. Seeing them in the Premier League and succeeding, that's probably going to be my team going forward if this other outcome happens. Why? Because a state-owned club is what I despise. A team that will spend for the sake of their national reputation and will bend and break the rules any way and every way that they possibly can to get ahead. Manchester United's the richest club in the world. They have the biggest fan support in the world. And I'm proud to be one of them. I will not be one of them anymore if they become a state-owned club. I will sever ties with Manchester United. If it's announced tomorrow that they are owned by the Qataris, then that's it. I'm done. Not day one. I'll finish out my season. The club, Ten Hag, they've moved the right direction. There's no better time to be a fan in the last 10 years, 9 years, 8 years, wherever we're at since Sir Alex Ferguson retired now. But in the modern era, or the recent era, no better time to support the club. But that'll change everything for me. And that's it. I will not continue to support the club that joins the ranks of those other clubs because they become everything I despise. I won't suddenly change my mind because the team that I like has money all of a sudden. I won't ignore the facts because my team's winning. Screw that. I do have principle. I do have morals. Third option, don't sell the club. Well, the Glazers, as much as I can't stand what they've done, it's not all bad. Manchester United continue to be the richest club on the planet, the most heavily supported club on the planet, and a very good club. They've made bad decisions. They've made bad signings. They've not taken care of Old Trafford. There are flaws. And seeing them gone is a good thing. Seeing them there over the Qataris, please don't sell them to that ownership group. Sell them the other direction. And as much as they're joking around trying to say that it's an independent buyer, it's not. It's clearly not. It is unequivocally, without a doubt, not. It's a state bid. That's my final word on this one. I know not everybody will agree with me. Some people will be thrilled to have that money and see Manchester United become one of the best clubs in the world. You'll see some sanctions eventually. Man City will not make it through this one. Chelsea did not make it through, and they're continuing to bend and break the rules. Their time's going to come. They're in trouble. Barcelona has already found themselves in trouble. They're bouncing back with a great performance this season after they broke all the rules again to get all these players to get back in a winning state. But that's not going to fix their problems. It's made their problems worse. They might not even exist in 10 years. I hope the best for Manchester United, for Newton Heath, and for you. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.